Weekend File on the NTA. We are live in Abuja. There is no doubt that since the creation of the world and coming of civilization, the role of science and technology made the difference. Innovations in Nigeria are as old as Nigeria itself, but our efforts had never been consciously or decisively tackled, largely due to our ignorance. Today is a different ball game altogether. It seems Nigerians, especially young people, have woken up from their slumber, aware or conscious of the fact that the leading nations across the world are those who have embraced technology, soul and body. Young innovators in Nigeria are now doing unimaginable things that are waiting to be developed to enable the nation join the league of technologically advanced societies. Innovations among young people in Nigeria are many, ranging from design of prototypes, namely aircraft, cars, electricity generation, grinding machines, and still counting. The experience of Nigeria in terms of innovations manifested heavily during this era of COVID-19 pandemic as some young persons from across the country churned out varieties of scientific and technological innovations in health, agriculture, and engineering. The National Office for Technology Acquisition and Promotion, NOTAP, has received a lot of these innovations by young Nigerians and is working further to fine-tune, standardize, and patent them. There is also a collaboration between the National Universities Commission, universities, and local industries to link up some of these innovations for commercialization. The Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, has an active role not only in publicizing some of these works, but by also holding the annual Expo Innovation by young people, identifying talents across the Federation and documenting them for tomorrow. It is obvious that Nigeria is heading somewhere with young innovators, but what is required is political will, funding, and patriotism to translate some of these works into tangible goods for the service of the nation. This, of course, is gradual, but we are stumbling to success. Do stay with us tonight on Weekend File as we bring you reports from across the Federation on innovations, science and technology by young Nigerians. Our guest is Dr. Dan Azumi Mohammed Ibrahim, Director General, National Office for Technology Acquisition and Promotion, NOTAP. I am Kenan Ima Aburike. You're welcome. Let's start with the news. Nigeria's recent commitment to progressive diplomacy has signaled changes in the country's foreign policy stance. A diplomat and currently the Chief of Staff to the President, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, stated this in a message at a conference in Abuja. Foreign Desk Correspondent Usman Aliyu reports.
This public lecture, organized by the Society for International Relations Awareness, provides one significant illustration, that is how Nigeria's diplomacy in recent years is guided by national interests. In their submissions, experts on diplomacy were quick to explain how the stalemate between Nigeria and big power nations jeopardized peace and security at the time Nigeria was at the most difficult times. That situation changed for the better by the Buhari presidency, as explained by Professor Ibrahim Gambari, himself a diplomat and academic, now Chief of Staff to the President, in a message delivered by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Jeffrey Onyama.
The Buhari administration was able to mobilize international support for the war against Boko Haram, forging strong partnerships with key countries, including the United States, the United Kingdom, France, Germany, ECOWAS sub-region, the AU, as well as the United Nations. After years of stalemate, the United States finally agreed to sell, and has indeed sold, weapons to Nigeria, 12 Super Tucano aircraft.
Even though Nigeria's foreign policy did not change since independence, but there are opportunities beyond economy and neighborhood diplomacy.
A couple of things that were enunciated by the Prime Minister in the 60s have been achieved. The other issues, economic development and the rest of them, nation building is what is being pursued today.
Please let us continue our Pan-Africanist foreign policy. Let's be our brother's keeper. Let Nigeria be, a champion of all black people in the world.
They say President Buhari's resolution has brought Nigeria's global commitments in line both with its core national interests and its material means. Usman Aliu, NTA News.
Let's go to security matters, where Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed says repentant Boko Haram members will be handled in line with international conventions which give them as prisoners of war. The minister said this in an interview in Washington, D.C., United States. Anthony Folson reports.
The Information and Culture Minister, who is in Washington, D.C., United States of America, for an engagement with international media organizations and think tanks, said President Muhammadu Buhari's confidence in the Nigerian military is a testimony of the successes being recorded in the fight against terrorism, banditry, and other criminal elements.
We must not forget that a few months ago, Nigerians were putting pressure on Mr. President to recruit mercenaries to fight the war, thinking that we are losing the war. The President remained focused in his belief and confidence in the Nigerian military that they have what it takes to defeat the insurgents. We thank God that Mr. President today has been proven right. But we're not stopping there. The military will continue to pursue Boko Haram ISWAP until they can no longer be harmful to Nigerians. And we have been able to achieve this largely because of the leadership of Mr. President and, of course, the ability to also provide the wherewithal continuously to the military.
For those who are calling for punishment to be meted out to repentance, the minister said that won't be the way forward, just as they cannot be integrated into the military or any security agency.
What the military is doing, you surrender, they profile you to ensure that truly what you have said it is true, and then after that they will think about what to do with you. But there's nowhere in the world that people will surrender and then you just shoot them. And the military never said they are going to engage into the Nigerian army or Nigerian police, those who have surrendered to them. It's this negativity that is harming Nigeria.
Lai Mohammed assured that with what is unfolding, the end to this criminality is closer. In Washington, D.C., Anthony Folson, NTA News.
The Nigerian Army Troops Sector 2 Joint Task Force in the Northeast, Operation Hadinkai, have arrested one Yusuf Saleh, a suspected Boko Haram urea fertilizer supplier in Yobe State. A statement by the Director, Army Public Relations, Brigadier General Onyema Nwachukwu, says the suspect was apprehended by the troops following intelligence report. Brigadier General Nwachukwu notes that urea fertilizer was banned by government because of its usage in the manufacturing of improvised explosive devices, IED, by terrorists. Now, the federal government is working to restore peace and enhance economic opportunities for rapid socio-economic growth and development. Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, reiterates the commitment during a conference of the Youth Wing of Christian Association of Nigeria in Abuja. Omenka Amarachukwu reports.
Nigeria has had its fair share of security challenges occasioned by insecurity, banditry, and other forms of restlessness with devastating impacts. And acknowledging the role youths played In crisis situation, the youth wing of the Christian Association of Nigeria is mobilizing youths towards achieving lasting peace.
One thing is certain, this is a phase, and as a nation, we are confident that we're going to overcome.
We have lots and lots of plans to make sure that events like this will continue to throw up people that will bring about the changes we've been clamoring for in this country.
Presidential advisor on media, Femi Adesina, urged youths to leverage on government empowerment programs nationwide for economic prosperity.
We must learn to accommodate one another. Accommodation is the first step to peace.
Femi Adesina appealed to churches to always preach peace and unity of the country, as nothing can be achieved in an atmosphere of rancor. In Abuja, Umeka Machuku, NTA News.
In the meantime, Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed says the suspension of Twitter operation in Nigeria is not in any way an attempt to shut out Nigerian youths from accessing or sharing information. The minister explained this during interview sessions with international media organizations and his ongoing media engagement in Washington, D.C., United States. Anthony Folson reports.
One question that resonated in the media engagement is the suspension of Twitter operation in Nigeria, questioning that Nigeria, with a huge youth population, why suspend Twitter as its users form bulk of the population?
Because national security is more important at this point in time than the ability of people to share information, especially when there are other platforms doing the same thing.
Going forward, Lai Mohammed disclosed that the leader of the technical team interfacing with Twitter management belongs to that category.
It is also correct to say that Nigeria is one of the youngest population in the world, and we have given a lot of responsibility to young Nigerians. As a matter of fact, the young man who is heading the technical committee negotiating with Twitter is an extremely young man.
Thank you.
You see, in the first instance, it's because there's a country called Nigeria. That is where there are people. If there's no Nigeria, there will be no freedom of anything. So, into that respect, I think we are quite firm in saying that if Twitter, again, threatens national security of our country or the national unity, we'll definitely do the same thing.
On infrastructural development, the minister maintained that it will be the pivot upon which sustainable development and economic growth will be achieved. In Washington, D.C., Anthony Forson, NTA News.
Now let's tell you that the ongoing nationwide strike by resident doctors is likely to be suspended soon, as the federal government is promising to start implementation of agreement reached at the meeting with officials of the Nigerian Medical Association in Abuja, hoping the striking doctors will shift the sword for the sake of the Nigerian people. Minister of Labor and Employment, Chris Ngige, alongside the Minister of State for Health, Dr. Odoronibe Mamara, gave the indication while reading Memorandum of Understanding MOU with the officials of Nigerian Medical Association NMA. Oluseya Dabo reports that the meeting, which started at about 3 p.m. on Friday, is still ongoing. The indefinite strike action by the National Association of Resident Doctors over non-fulfillment of the agreement on welfare issues is about 20 days now. In politics, over 2,000 supporters of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) have defected to the All Progressives Congress (APC) in Gombe State. Emmanuel Akila reports that the APC received the decampees with assurances of fairness and justice.
Members of the All Progressives Congress (APC) jubilating as they welcome former Gombe Central Senatorial Zone Secretary of the PDP and former Chairman of Yemal to Deba Local Government Area, Ahmad Aji, and others into the APC in Deba, headquarters of Yemal to Deba Local Government Area. It is the same scenario at Malam Sidi, headquarters of Kwame Local Government Area, where former member of the Gombe State House of Assembly, Lamid Obubo Konflata, led his supporters and other politicians to the arms of the APC.
I saw what the executive governor of Gombe State, under the platform of APC, Alhaji Inwa Muhammad Yaya, did on the development of Gombe State and Kwame local government and my ward and my constituency. That's why I decide I and my people to join the APC.
Gombe State Deputy Governor Manasa Daniel Jato, Acting State Secretary of the APC NTA Mangal, Chief of Staff Government House Abubakar Inwakari, and other supporters of the APC welcome the new members into the party.
We are all going to join hands, whether you are new, whether you are old, whether you are yet to join the party. As long as you have that intention, we want you to come together so that we put hands together and ensure that this good work that we have started gets to an end.
The APC formed government in Gombe State for the first time in 2019. In Gombe, Emmanuel Akila, NTA News.
Despite the abundant mineral resource deposits across the country, Nigeria is yet to fully harness potentials of such endowment for sustainable development due to acts of impunity in the sector. This was the submission of the Executive Director, Administration and Training, NTA, Professor Steve Ebo, at a conference on resource extraction for sustainable development in the post-COVID-19 era held at the Alex Ekweme Federal University, Ndofo Alike Ikwo, Ebonyi State. Chinaza John reports.
Statistics reveal that Nigeria has about 50 solid mineral deposits in 500 locations across the country. But in spite of this huge mineral deposit, it only accounts for 0.3% of the country's GDP due to illegal mining, ineffective risk management and lack of adequate regulations, with its attendant effects on agriculture, health and environment. In a lecture titled Impunity as an Antithesis to Sustainable Development, Executive Director, Administration and Training, Nigerian Television Authority, Professor Steve Ebo, identified impunity act as the bane of the African continent, which should be tackled at various levels, adding that the mineral sector is where it is today because people throw caution to the wind without recourse to posterity.
All of us are guilty, the leaders and the led. So if we must move forward, we must redefine the rules of engagement.
The Minister of State, Mines and Steel Development, represented by the Director General, Southeast Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Henry Awurego.
When that interaction and cross-fertilization begins to take place, we will go beyond learning. We will now begin to interface learning with earning.
High point of the conference was a courtesy visit on the Vice Chancellor of the University and tree planting to safeguard the environment. From Alex Ekweme Federal University in Ndofo Alikipu, Chinaza John, NTA News.
And less than 24 hours after giving out his daughter's hand in marriage to a member of the Nigeria's first family, Emir of Bichi Nasiru Ado Bayero received a staff of office from Kano State Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje. This was at a ceremony attended by dignitaries, including a presidential delegation led by the President's Chief of Staff, Ibrahim Gambari. Abdullahi Mustafa has the details.
Throughout the week, the Bichi Palace has been a beehive of activities. It received people from all walks of life who came to witness the wedding of the new kingdom's princess and the son of the Nigeria's president. The coronation of the Emir Nasiru Ado Bayero, who ascended the throne in March 2020, took place thereafter. The Emir pleased to use his experience and influence in bringing about accelerated socio-economic development of the emirate.
We are here together and we will always be here together. This is what the country needs. North and South are one. We must always remember that this country belongs to all of us.
Apart from fellow traditional leaders including emirs and chiefs, the brief but colorful ceremony was attended by governors of Niger and Kogi states, while a delegation led by Chief of Staff Ibrahim Gambari represented President Muhammadu Buhari.
His Royal Highness the new Emir of Bichi is a master in promoting commerce and industry and developing the opportunities for the people to enjoy a better life.
Therefore, appeal to Your Highness to remain the father of all.
Bichi is one of the 4 emirates created by Kano State Government in May 2019. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
Now, President Muhammadu Buhari felicitates with the Minister of State for Education, Chukwuemeka Nwajuba, as he clocks 54. President Buhari believes that education is key to a successful and prosperous Nigeria and recognizes the minister's tireless devotion in working with key stakeholders and international partners towards enhancing the capacity of the sector. The president joins members of the Nwajuba family, friends and well-wishers in praying that the special moments of another birthday will bring more wisdom, encouragement and determination for the celebrants to excel more in public service. In another development, President Muhammadu Buhari commiserates with the governments and people of Ogun, Ekiti and Oyo State over the passing of former military governor and administrator General Adetunji Odurin. The president joins family, friends and professional colleagues in mourning the military officer who served the country meritoriously in his career. General Odurin served as military governor in Oyo State, administrator in Ekiti State and ECOMOG commander in Liberia. President Buhari notes efforts by the deceased in community development and prays that the Almighty God will grant the departed soul eternal rest and comfort his family. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo and other prominent Nigerians this Saturday joined the people of Owa Alero community in Delta State to celebrate the life and times of late Chief Arthur Okowa, father of the Delta State Governor. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports.
This is not the first time the Vice President they coming to Owa Alero community here. The first time was in May when he came over to celebrate with the people for the great development, massive development that is happening here at Owa Alero. And his second coming here is to celebrate with the people for the life of a man, a great man, a man with many names, a man of great title, and the father of the executive governor of the state. His name is Chief Arthur Okowa, who passed on to glory in January this year.
Described as a great father, teacher, a thoroughbred progressive politician, he was once one of the brains behind the formation of the Expo Unity Party of Nigeria under late Chief Obafemi Awolowo. Late Arthur Okowa is said to be a disciplinarian who lived his life serving God and humanity. As Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says, the deceased was a blessing to the church, his community, and the nation.
A father's faithfulness to the education of his own and others, his example of public service with integrity, and his commitment to his faith has given an inheritance that has endured and will, by God's grace, continue to endure. This community, this state, this nation has been blessed by the life of this unassuming teacher from Owa Alero.
I thank God that that life that he lived impacted not only on my present but on all my siblings. God preserved him to help me and to see me through the difficult times in politics.
Statesmanship is not a gift. It is earned. They are patriotic, they are sacrificial, they are ready to die for the good of the common.
From the St. Michael's Anglican Church, Owa Alero, Delta State, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
This is Weekend File on the NTA. More thank you for staying with us on Weekend File. Innovations and inventions in Nigeria that are now translating into products and services are mostly coming from the younger generation. With this generation of tech entrepreneurs, whose startups and innovations are helping to improve the lives of people in the country and beyond, how is the federal government meting out policies and programs to encourage these rising stars to achieve the goals? Justin Bermunyi seeks answers to this question.
You mentioned that you need some assistance, some financial assistance that can help you to upgrade these devices so that, and also to improve on the research that you are doing. One of our departments will be giving you 5 million naira to assist you.
A couple of weeks ago, Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation appreciating demand-oriented innovation from a group of youngsters. It underscores the federal government's commitment to embrace and propel young innovators in the country towards a desired level of technological development and industrialization.
Empowering and funding this important sector is not an option for the country, as the sector is the only surest way to attain greatness and be recognized among the Committee of Nations.
The ministry remains committed towards driving policies and programs towards making sure young indigenous techpreneurs see reasons for not giving up. Since 2005, there has been a Presidential Standing Committee on Invention and Innovation, which on a yearly basis awards grants to innovators in recognition and support for their technological development. Another is the 774 Young Nigerian Scientist Presidential Award. It is a program for the 774 local government areas which recognizes creativity and competitive spirit, as the best among them earn scholarship of up to PhD level.
Industry Technology Transfer Fellowship is another non-tapped initiative to build capacity of Nigeria's technology development and transfer. It is designed for the industry to provide scholarship for Nigerian scientists with master's degree to pursue PhD programs in 8 of Nigerian universities.
In addition, there has been deliberate efforts by the federal government through the National Office for Technology Acquisition and Promotion (NOTAP) to acquaint and assist young innovators protect their works through patenting. Justin Bemunyi, NTA News.
He is a teenager with dreams of building a solar-powered vehicle, an innovator desirous of providing solutions to problems through technology. This is the story of a 16-year-old Joseph Wilson in Port Harcourt, Rivers State.
16-year-old Joseph Wilson started exhibiting special dexterity in technology as early as 6 years, when he would dismantle his late father's electronic gadgets and then reassemble them. Using indigenous technology, Joseph has produced toy solar-powered cars, solar-powered radio, and electronic bulbs. He believes that he can actually leverage on the available technology to provide value-added technological-driven solutions for societal benefits.
Actually, a solar car is a power bank, it's a TV, it's a MP3, it's a self-control card. Another product is called a pen that you actually use in writing, and it lights all over your book.
With many of these young inventors in various schools in Nigeria, Dr. Imanweke of Gaptinele Chiamadi Polytechnic Port Harcourt is concerned that many of such gifted talents fail to translate their dreams to realities, advocating for special attention and support for these gifted students.
Even within our local training, such persons should be on the highlights. If you send them to certain polytechnics or universities, and make sure that the school management gives them a special training and they are monitored, there could be international collaborations to make sure that those persons achieve top notch.
After grooming, after mentoring, what next? They need to be projected, they need to be sponsored. So we go about getting sponsors for them.
With the multifaceted challenges that comes with oil and gas industrial activities, observers insist time has come to give young innovators the necessary support with the right solutions to addressing the current challenges in the sector. In Port Harcourt, Kingsley Amajiri, NTA News.
All right, Dr. Dan Azumi Mohammed Ibrahim, Director General, National Office for Technological Acquisition and Promotion, NOTAP, joins us live in the studio. You're welcome to Weekend File.
Thank you very much. Good evening, Nigerians.
Every now and then we'll find these young Nigerians coming up with innovations, science and technology prowess. And our question is, we've seen them over time and we'll continue to see them. What's happening at the moment?
Well, thank you very much. I think first of all is I must congratulate Nigerians for having younger generations who are coming out with invention and innovations. That tell you the future of the country. So what we need to do is to see how we can harness the efforts of these young, talented Nigerians. How do we do it? And the Federal Ministry of Science and Technology, as part of your background report, there is what we call Presidential Standing Committee on Invention and Innovation. It's a committee that is the Federal Ministry of Science and Technology. Is chaired by the Permanent Secretary. Every year we give grants to those innovators so that they will be able to add value to what they had done. So when we find that some of those innovations and inventions have potentials to translate into product and services, we have to protect the intellectual property itself, because that is the first stage of commercialization of any research and development effort. It's like you have a land that does not have certificate of occupancy. So it's another way, it is subject or prone to encouragement. So also the intellectual assets. What NOTAP does is we assist those innovators and inventors to protect their intellectual assets, because commercialization of this research and development efforts or innovations are private sector affair, and no private sector will put his own or her own money where the intellectual asset is not protected. So what we do is we assist young inventors, innovators, any Nigerian who has come out with something that could help to develop the economy in terms of innovations and inventions. We help him fill the necessary forms, write the necessary claims, take it to the patent registry, pay the patenting fee. We only call them to come and collect their patent certificate. That is a gap we have seen, and we are trying to fill it. So there is also what we call Techno Expo. That Techno Expo is held annually. It gives opportunity for Federal Ministry of Science and Technology to give exposure to these young talented, and so that Nigerians will come and see what they have done, so that they will appreciate. And some of them, maybe the private sector, may show interest to commercialization, to commercialize some of those inventions. But unfortunately, the private sectors are not forthcoming. So in my own opinion, we need to have an institutional framework that is equipped with necessary funding that would move some of those innovations to the next level. There is also another institution in Science and Tech, National Board for Technology Incubation. It's another versatile in science and technology that provides incubation facilities for some of those innovators and researchers, so that they incubate their innovations to a certain limit, maybe after 3-4 years. When they feel they are comfortable enough to leave the incubation site, they leave it. And we have incubation sites in all the states of the Federation.
All right, a lot of people will want to ask this question. The youngsters themselves, what about the raw materials that they use in fabricating some of these prototypes, these innovations? Are they readily available?
Yeah, since we've been able to have access, you see, some of the components might be imported. You see, innovations, you are not reinventing the wheel, but you are leveraging on what other people have done to get one product or the other, so that you suit your own interest. So the resources, whether the raw materials are 100% available or not, that, in my own opinion, is a secondary issue. What is most important is the ability of these young Nigerians to make innovations, to make inventions that will substitute imported services and products. That is key. So where the raw materials doesn't exist, we can still leverage and go outside and import those raw materials. But we make deliberate efforts to see that we are able to source some of those raw materials locally.
I asked this question because the people involved neither, they don't have the money to do what they do, but they keep doing these things. So that's why I'm asking if NOTAP has a way of assisting them in terms of raw materials.
Yeah, it's not about raw materials, Kenny. You see, as I said earlier, we have a presidential standing committee on invention and innovation. In one of their background reports, there was some secondary school girls that went to see the Honorable Minister of Science and Technology, and then directed that 5 billion should be given to them. That is another way of motivating them to do that. So why the raw materials doesn't exist, you understand? There is no state in this country that does not have a comparative advantage in one raw materials or the other. What we need is to have a vibrant research and development, so that what we have, we can refine them using our own technology, so that the raw materials will be very readily available. Raw Material Research and Development Council, another parastatal and Federal Ministry of Science and Technology, had done a lot in terms of raw materials. There is no any raw materials that exist in this country that Raw Material Research and Development Council has not documented. So they are into partnership with the researchers to see how they add value to some of those raw materials, so that they are ready and easily used by the industries. So we are blessed, I'm telling you. We have both human and natural resources in this country. What we all need to do is to try to see how we harness those for the economic development of our system. I must also add here that so many products have come out from Nigerians, and those products can provide you all the services you need. But unfortunately, I stress, we have a very high taste for foreign goods and services. And I think that is where a policy would come to assist, in terms of giving a very high tariff for anything that is coming into the country imported.
All right. Of course, DG, you're aware that the Nigerian Television Authority, of course, every year holds an expo innovation for these youngsters right here in Abuja every year. We've done that for donkey years now. I don't know what the synergy NOTAP have or has with the NTA and other stakeholders in this regard.
Actually, every year, whenever this expo is holding, we send staff from from NOTAP to come and see some of those innovations that are maybe have the potential to be patented. So it's not every innovation that can be patented. When we are able to discover some of them can be patented, we take the details of those and we advise them. They go to our website, they fill the necessary forms. Where they cannot, our staff are there to assist and guide them in writing the necessary forms. Where they cannot write the claims, we assist them to write the claims. We take it to the patent registry. We only call them to come and collect their patent certificates. In 2019, 65% of the patent certificates issued by the patent registry came through NOTAP. So it's a gap we have seen, and we are seriously filling in this gap.
Somebody somewhere who will be watching and asking about the website you're talking about. Can you remind us?
www.notap.gov.ng.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We're discussing the role of innovations by young Nigerians in technological development. Welcome back to Weekend File. The world today is more technology driven. With this development, some Nigerian youths are making impact in technological development with various innovation. In this report, Hengino John Adams examines availability of raw materials for the young innovators.
Emmanuel Nwakachi is taking advantage of the dynamism of technology to contribute to national development.
This artificial irrigation system can be used to water farm.
His innovation comes just when the present administration is using technology to advance agriculture. There are many young Nigerians like Emmanuel who are adding great value in various fields. No doubt, the nation, in addition to being blessed with raw materials for technological growth, has intellectual property that can compete globally.
Nigerian youth are the raw materials, particularly for the country's technological development.
In Lagos State, government is catching them young and encouraging the use of available raw materials.
We are promoting robotics and things like that from our primary school level, getting them acquainted to what is necessary, making them globally competitive.
On 5th of February 2018, President Muhammadu Buhari signed the Executive Order No. 5 to, among other things, promote Nigerian content in contracts, science, engineering, and technology. Experts are of the opinion that government should be strict on implementing this order.
Raw materials are available here if we're able to do more research and also get them into use by Nigerians. We just have to also invest more, especially in education and research.
It is expected that projects like that of Emmanuel will be supported by relevant bodies to improve Nigeria's technological prowess. In Lagos, Hingino John Adams, NTA News.
We still have Dr. Dan Azumi Mohammed Ibrahim, Director General, National Office for Technology Acquisition and Promotion, NOTAP. All right, let's talk about some of the major challenges. You did say something about the private sector not, showing enough or sufficient interest. Now, that also happens on lack of patriotism and the rest of them. How do we look at that?
You see, most of those innovations and inventions are coming from young people who have no access to funding. And they don't have the wherewithal to translate them into product and service. They have done their own bit. And the private sectors, based on our own assessment of what is happening in these nations, I think greater part of them, they want fast money. And if you compare it to advanced countries, where the industries and the innovators and academia are working very closely. Why is it? Because the industries belong to them, the researchers they are indigenous, you understand. But if you take a census of big industries in this country, more than 90% of them are foreign based. So to be honest to you, that is my own opinion. They are not here to develop our country, they are here to make money and go back. So it is for us as a nation to be strategic. In some countries, any foreign direct investment coming into the country, there are conditions set down. Nigerians must participate, but we have seen companies where they are owned 100% by foreigners. So where we feel we can come into this at this point in time is yes, we have to encourage foreign direct investment, but we should not open our doors so wide. There must be some strategic clauses which we must have to impose. If you are coming into the country, certain percentage of your shares must be by Nigerians, and you have to commit certain amount of your profit before tax into research and development, because almost 100% of those multinationals carry their research and development outside the country, while we have competent Nigerians, professors, who would be able to handle one aspect of the research or the other. That is where, when we saw that gap, NOTAP now came up with a partnership with the industries. And one of those partnerships with the industry is let them commit some certain percentage of their research and development in terms of developing capacities of Nigerians, in terms of sponsoring them at master's to PhD level, undertaking research and development that are relevant to those industries. I'm happy we have started in 2016 with only 5 candidates and 5 industries sponsoring those candidates. After the first segment, we had additional 10 companies sponsoring additional 10 Nigerians from master's to PhD level. These are the critical level of manpower we need to develop if we want to develop as a nation. Now, recently, additional 5 we got. I'm happy to say the first segment, after first batch of those beneficiaries, 2 of them have graduated. One has been sponsored by Nestle Nigeria Limited. She's from University of Nigeria, Nsukka. She came up with an excellent formulation as an alternative winning feed. And Nestle may probably think of establishing a production line for that. Now we are bringing the academia. So we need to have a policy that would encourage the multinationals in particular to come and assist in developing the capacities and providing some of those facilities for researchers to be able to undertake. Then the other project is, yes, even if you develop the capacities, if you go to laboratories, some of the equipments are weak, are obsolete. we feel a part of their corporate social responsibility, let them also contribute towards upgrading some of those laboratories. So far, PZ Nigeria Limited, PZ Cousins, is the first industry that has come in. It has, in the initial stage, upgraded 3 laboratories. One in University of Modibo Adama University in Yola, the other one University of Calabar National Research Institute for Chemical Technology. Now, the encouragement of this now, they have further committed the sum of 360 million to upgrade additional 6 laboratories. So now they are trying to establish a partnership between those industries they have commissioned and their research and development team. So that is, you need to have a synergy between the industry and the academia so that we begin to see your research and development translated into product and services.
We'd like to thank you for speaking to us on Weekend File tonight.
Thank you very much, Kenny.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Of course, we'll be speaking with Dr. Dan Azumi Mohammed Ibrahim, Director General, National Office for Technology Acquisition in the fight against rape and rapists. My name is Kenan Ima Abudike. Enjoy the rest of the weekend.